Your wrath has come for destroying those who destroy the earth. Revelation. The storm that has sent to break you will be the storm that God will use to make you. Prophesy children, saith the Lord. In the scripture, there's things that we can see and knowing in Revelation and scripture are the warnings that children have been asking and pleading for food, for clothes, for necessity, for help, for vehicles, and yet busy is a busy signal, or oftentimes thrown away, cast away, pushed away, not even acknowledged. Have you turned your back on somebody who you knew you could have helped and didn't because you had other things to do? Well, I want to share with you what's been going on with your school system since 1981. I know this firsthand because I went to Hillsdale, and I wasn't even aware at 5th grade that they were the influences were at work. Now you see, here we are, years later. You can now get married and call yourself a husband and wife and be two females. Now, I don't even want to get into how real it is. You could just see by the images. We've been fighting this battle for a long time. I don't fight people who want to live that way. Although I speak against it. Dear NAMBLA, sexual deviants and those who participated in sex acts against our will. Your education system where you once taught fisting sex acts are now being looted. Homosexual rape will not be tolerated. It is a hateful act. There will be lifelong consequences for those who encouraged it, or went along with it. It should outrage you when your children are screaming out for help and that somebody else is having sex in the other room while entertaining sex objects and injecting this kind of relationship into your lives. It should piss you off. It should piss you off a lot because most people don't care. Most people don't care until something really bad happens to that person, or something, a disease, or something worse. No, really, I'm just going to tell you like it is. Sexually transmitted diseases don't have to be just sexual intercourse at all. So there are items in our household that need to be cleaned up. And there are items that need to be taken and they need to get fully examined. Remember, whenever you bring in sex objects into your household and you say to yourself, well, it really won't bother if I just put it in a closet. It won't really matter. Nobody really cares about what's going on in my personal life. Well, there's a lot of loneliness and destitute children and young women who've been left stranded, abandoned in their marriages, abandoned by the people, raped, sexually abused, wives and children that have gone ignored by their own family as well. So while he was out there ignoring his responsibilities to his own family, or supposedly married to this girl, that girl, that girl, I mean, let's go down the road and talking about a womanizer, a man who doesn't have time for anyone, only what pleases him. He wasn't looking to please his family. He wasn't looking to talk to the father. He was not talking to the dad. He's busy judging her and criticizing her on radio right now. You dudes that judge women, let me just tell you, where's the alimony check? Where's the child support? How is it our kids are going to eat tonight unless we go out and spend our last dollar for pasta? Instead of going out and spending your whole check and buying the next porno mag. Do you know how desperate and destitute it gets? You don't know. You don't know. You haven't lived it. You haven't lived through it. You haven't endured abuse, sexual abuse, mental, physical, sexual abuse. And when you live through something so awful that you can barely get help, and they forced us to walk on the highway even after we were abused. So I'm going to tell you this hateful sexual act that placated over at the women's shelter. The women's shelter ignored the women that needed help the whole time, and they're worried about whether the NAMBLA and the sex acts were done. You know how homosexuality gets a lot of time? Mm-hmm. You guys get more airtime than most people because of your homosexual lifestyle. You ignore other women's needs. No, they placate to the homosexual left. I said enough. While your schools are being looted and used up, where you engage in those sex acts and fisting, I just want to say so long to all of you. Bye-bye.